Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our Essential Support series. My name is Wendy Kohler. I'm a doctor of physical therapy and essential oil specialist, and I love natural health. And we're just so grateful that you're following along with our Essential Support series, where we're bringing on different healthcare and lifestyle professionals to help us through this time of COVID-19. We've been looking at different things through different lenses right now, looking at our life, assessing and evaluating, and seeing where we can take small steps forward. And with what we're going through right now on the planet, I think it's a perfect invitation to do that so that we can come out on the other side of this in a better position, whether it's physical health, emotional health, relationships, all of it. There's a chance for us to make changes in a positive way as a result of what we're going through. So today I have on with me Danielle Reaume. She's a life coach and she specializes in relationships. She's passionate, a purpose-driven entrepreneur who believes that everyone's worthy and deserving of having healthy, happy, and communicative, loving relationships. Danielle is a master practitioner and master coach in NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming, and a master practitioner in the quantum change process. She often works with women who are driven to figure out what they really want in life and helps them to find that and break through any limiting beliefs. So today in our series, Danny's gonna walk us through some tips on how we can manage our relationships right now as far as communication and what we can do when our routines are they're all over the place and our regular life is offset. So Danny, thank you for coming on. Welcome, and I can't wait to hear what you have to offer.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Wendy. I'm so grateful to be here and to share and to give. And if there's any of these things that can help the people watching in their relationships, I'm just so grateful for that. So yeah, where to begin? I really think it's first recognizing, hey, like our lives are different than they were a few weeks ago, very different on all different scales, depending on who you are. So for probably a lot of us, we're spending a lot more time with our significant other than we might have. And yeah, and it just becomes like hyper aware because we're in these really more confined spaces for a lot of us. So naturally, things that might have been little pet peeves before, that could be building and growing and becoming more and more of a frustration. So there's three tips that I wanted to share that you can start implementing right away to gain a little more peace of mind and peace in general in your relationships. So the first one is, I really like to take a look at the relationship, if you're to zoom out on the relationship and just look at it from a bit more of an objective view. And for instance, when we see things in our partners that are bothering us, or we're getting frustrated with them, or those little pet peeves are really getting on to us, I want to look at perception as projection. And this term was first founded by Carl Jung, who is a modern day philosopher who was studying relationships and how people play into each other's lives. And if you've ever heard before, our partners, spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, husband, wives, are all a mirror for us. And perception as projection says that by law of the universe, I have to project my stuff onto my partner so that it's mirrored back for me so that I can work through these life lessons and things. And so we've chosen our partners for that reason. And perception as projection has us looking at, what does this have to do with me? So when you see a behavior or a tone or a way that your partner is coming across that's affecting you, bothering you, triggering you, saying to yourself, ask yourself, what does this have to do with me? And I would give an example of, if your partner is really irritated and quick-tempered and getting mad at the littlest things right now, if you step back and ask yourself, what does this have to do with me? It could be one of two viewpoints. One could be they're just really mad at the current situations and everything that's going on, and it's their anger, and then there's something there deeper to dig into. Or it could be that maybe it's showing us that we have some anger, and maybe we're stuffing down the anger as opposed to looking at it, or there's just something else there for us to figure out about ourselves. So what do we do with that now that we have that? Maybe it's an opportunity to dive in deeper into a conversation with your partner and getting really curious about how they're doing and what's going on, instead of making up all the stuff in our heads about what could be affecting them or causing their anger.
Yeah, and I think we totally get on a regular day can do that, right? In so many different instances, even without all of the stress and pressure and uncertainty and fear that's going on, is we have this idea of what something's happening, we think we know, or we set some expectations, and we could be completely off. And if we don't communicate that with our partner, and we don't actually ask and encourage loving conversations for them to tell us, then I mean, it's such a massive potential for disaster in communication and in love and life in general, right? Like it's throwing, with all the things that are going on, it's like throwing gas on a fire. So I love that tip.
That's a great point too. Yeah, there's so many other factors we can't control. Now more than ever, let's try our best to come together in our relationship and be a team and a support system and help each other. So the second thing would be to look at your week ahead and carve out time for all the things. Especially if you're not used to working from home and you're used to going into an establishment every day and having a structure laid out, that can trigger so many different emotions, frustrations, and different ways that we're managing that. So getting a schedule for yourself and your whole family, and then making sure that there's some priority there of how you're going to nurture your relationship, whether it's spending some time every morning going for a walk together, or like maybe natural, but having dinners together, or doing something that you love to do together that you can within your home and your social distance space. So yeah, really carving out that time, because I think especially if you have in your home, maybe one person is an entrepreneur and one's in the corporate space, now boundaries are not the same that they used to be. So really saying, okay, I'm going to work till X amount of time in the day, and now I'm going to show up for my partner, and I'm going to be present fully to reconnect with my partner.
Yeah, and as far as like how Sean, my husband and I are implementing that time is, and it's not happening every day, but we're trying to go for walks together where we can unpack the day, where we, without our kids, and obviously social distance, but without our kids, unpack the day, kind of bring up our feelings, and just, go through what might be happening the next day and sort through it while we're walking. So we're getting movement in there too, and being out in fresh air. So that's helpful on a whole bunch of different levels. But yeah, that's one of the strategies that we've tried to implement. And we're actually spending more time around the dinner table with family with normally we don't get to do that as much. And it's allowing our children an opportunity to speak and be heard and sort through feelings there too, so that they feel safe and supported amidst everything.
Beautiful. Love it. And that takes me to the third point or idea that I have here, is to, in addition to the time where we're spending, and also think of your love languages and how you like to receive and give love, and make sure we're meeting those and asking for what we need. But the third thing is to have once a week or once every 2 weeks, a time where you connect and you ask yourselves 2 questions, and you pose it to your partner and then they respond with theirs. First thing, what's going well? What's gone well this week? And the second thing is, what do I want more of out of the relationship, the week, whatever? And it just opens up such a positive space for you to communicate, to find out what's going well, what we want more of. And again, having that really positive focus as opposed to all the stuff that can just bring us down and tear us down. So I'll say that again, is what do we want more of, and what's going really well this week? And it also is beautiful how it opens up an opportunity for other things to come into the conversation as well. And that might not have come up, but now that you're healthily communicating in a time of the day where you're both feeling charged and in a place to connect. And then I think that another component that Wendy can probably speak more to is, it's not always at first easy to communicate. And I think Wendy has some great tools that she also gives others help with communicating.
Yeah, for sure. When I think of those questions, I think they're so beautiful and so easy to ask, and even you could do with your family or your business team or whichever. But it will validate what's happening in the relationship. And especially if you're looking at love languages as well, it'll validate and then reinforce. And then it's this positive interaction that's dynamic. And hey, I really liked when you did this, tells that person, oh, she likes that, I'll do more of that, which then causes the other person to say, oh, I want to make that person happy. And it's this positive feedback loop. And it's so easy. And, you know, really whittling down, what do I want more of, can bring you more joy in your life, no matter what area you're looking at. So whether it's like your business or your family, your love life, your exercise routine, what do I want more of is such a beautiful question. And yes, I help people with communication as far as essential oils are concerned, because they work on an emotional level, a vibration level, an energy level. And so a few suggestions that I would have for people to foster good communication and to help get into that mode. My first favorite is lavender, and I'll give you guys three of my favorites, but lavender essential oil through doTERRA is an oil of communication. And so whether I'm public speaking or going live somewhere, or just need to have a conversation that maybe I'm feeling a little bit, you know, nervous about, all I do is I take lavender essential oil, I'll put a drop in my hands, dab some on my finger, and rub it on my throat. And have you ever, you know, experienced where you have something to say and it just gets stuck in your throat, that lump in your throat? Well, that's your throat chakra, and that's your voice getting stuck there. So lavender is going to encourage that communication. Then I usually just breathe it in and have the essential oil go right to the area of the brain, the limbic center, which helps to, it's the control center of mood, motion, memory. So it's all there to help calm the central nervous system down so that your body is not in a sympathetic, worried fear mode, and you can like center and talk. Okay, so lavender is my first suggestion. The second one I like to use for communication is balance. And balance is the essential oil blend for grounding. So putting this on the bottom of your feet, the soles of your feet, especially the bottom of your big toe. Even you can massage it a little bit into your ears, into the auriculotherapy pressure points there, to help ground you and bring you to center so that you're focused on what you're saying and the other person is saying, and you're not already thinking of what's your future response going to be. So balance is another one I love. And then the last one I want to suggest to you, if you need more confidence in what you're saying, is spearmint. It's the essential oil for confident speech on an emotional level. And so taking a drop in water or diffusing it in a room that you're having conversations in, if you need something for confident speech, especially if you're leading a workshop or a public speaker, but whatever it is, that oil can be empowering in that regard. So those are three essential oils that I like for communication. And if we're talking about relationship-based things where there's maybe a lot of emotion to unpack, then forgive is a blend that I like to put over the heart center or the wrists or the neck or back of neck for letting go of things for yourself and for others. So those are my essential oil tips on communication to hopefully help you guys through this time and any time.
Absolutely love it. And yeah, it's so true, because it's not always easy, but there's always tools that we can use to help with that confidence and that clarity of speech. And then every time we do communicate, I promise it gets easier every single time.
It does, right? And when you feel heard and validated and you respect your partner or the person you're speaking to and give them same feeling, it really gives us a more level playing ground and level communication ground. And when you attach essential oils into the process, it creates this memory loop in your brain and affects your physiology that way, so that maybe next time you just have to breathe lavender in and have that same kind of feeling towards your communication. So many tools we can use. And I know you have so many other great options and ideas. So I'll get you to recap those 3 tips, and then I'll tell people how they can reach you and just, you know, get in contact with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So first topic that we covered was Perception is Projection by Carl Jung. And that's all about looking at the relationship from more of an objective lens, seeing, okay, what could this be mirroring back to me? And asking yourself, what does this have to do with me? And just reflecting on that. Second piece is creating that schedule for your life and having the time to sit down with your partner, family, and look at what the next week is going to bring, and carving out specific time for all the people in your life to have that really focused, intentional time just for those compartments of your life, like your relationships, and then compartmentalizing business and other things and other to-dos that you have to that, so that you can get back on the same page and be giving the love languages that you and your partner both need to feel loved and to continue moving forward healthily. And then the third one is having that weekly or bi-weekly meeting where you ask yourself, and meeting in a fun, loving way, but asking yourself, what's going really well this week? What went really well this week? And what do I need more of? What do you need more of? What would you want more of, right? In a fun, loving, healthy space. And then also another thing I just want to share is, once we share how to connect with me, I'm offering 30-minute complimentary coaching calls. Just if there's any way that I can help and support, please let me know. I'd be happy to connect with you and see how I can give you some further assistance.
That's amazing. And how can they connect with you for that?
Yeah, so well, email is info@DanielleReaume.ca, and then on Instagram is @Dani Reaume, DANIREAUME, and then Facebook is Danielle Reaume Coach.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Amazing. So you guys, please follow along with Dani for her more tips, more information. She's a wonderful support person and can help lead you through and bust through some limiting beliefs. I'd love if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @everydayessentials_life. And on YouTube, you can find me at Wendy Kohler, WENDIKOHLER. And please follow along with our Essential Support series if you're looking for more support in a number of different areas. We are trying to help us all view things right now with a different lens and give some practical free tips on how you can move forward in your physical health, your emotional health, and your relationship health during this time. So thanks all for catching up and staying with us for this conversation. And we'll link up some resources below.